What's up, everyone? Good evening. Welcome back to another live stream. How is everyone doing? How was your day today? Another ranging day in the markets, another day without any big news events. So that's basically what we have at this point. Let me know if you guys managed to find good opportunities or not. So basically, in this live stream, we are looking for the best opportunities for tomorrow's trading session. We call it the A+ setup, so try to focus on those. We analyze different markets, FX, indices, commodities, and also Bitcoin and Ethereum. So feel free to let me know if you do have any asset that you like to analyze together, or any levels that you think that is important or good to look for trades. Feel free to let me know in the comments, and we can analyze them together. So yes, as I mentioned yesterday, today basically the 2 days without big news events, and it's going to continue tomorrow. Aside from New Zealand, that you're going to have an interest rate decision, we're expecting 50 basis points rate cut. It's going to be overnight. Aside from that, again, another day without any news aside from the Fed meetings, the FOMC meeting minutes later on, basically in 24 hours from now, and let's see if we're going to have any type of volatility from there, right? Maybe you have, since you didn't really have any news for 2 days. Maybe the market's going to react to this one if there's any surprise being released in those minutes. We have a few Fed members or FOMC members sharing their opinion, but again, we haven't really seen any volatility whatsoever. We talk about the indices, about the dollar. It continues to stay in the range, basically respecting both extremes, the highs and the lows. And then on Thursday, yes, on Thursday we're going to have CPI, so that's going to be an interesting one. CPI in the West, maybe finally going to have some move happening. I'm expecting already tomorrow to have some volatility. I'm not expecting for price to stay 3 days in a row within this range. Like if we're looking at the daily candle on the dollar index, basically that was yesterday and this is today. Like basically almost no movement whatsoever. There was an attempt in there to break some lows, but then price just literally got rejected. Now moving to the upside, retesting the highs. We'll see. This is exactly what we mentioned, or what we talked about yesterday, with the potential scenario where you could see price actually faking these lows, not really filling the range in there, or the price that is available in there, and actually using these lows as the new bottom for now. And maybe from here we could start looking to the upside, and maybe price can eventually retest that level, and from here maybe can be a good long opportunity. I would like to see these highs being taken before actually trying to aim for any longs from there. But if you do start breaking these highs, maybe holding a little bit more to the upside, then when you have a potential retracement into this level, that could be a long opportunity in here. And this is the space that stays available for the future. Whenever price goes, when it turns, that can be a potential target in there. In terms of moves, any move to the upside, as you mentioned yesterday, we are somewhere in here, right? That's a little bit of the level that I'm going to be looking for. Again, where price is reacting right now, it's a really good one. This is the decision point as well that made all these moves to downside, managed to break this low, managed to break basically all these lows in here. So that's an important one in here, and price has been respecting it for now 2 days already. But aside from that, nothing has changed. Like basically, if you just review or rewatch yesterday's session, that's where we are, right? There's no news, nothing new. The only addition is this break to downside, but yesterday there was already a small break in there, so this one's a bit bigger, but it stays the same. There's not really anything relevant at this point in here. Let's just see if actually we reacted from anything relevant in here on the left side. Maybe there was a decision point in there that price missed it or didn't respect it, and now maybe that's where price is reacting right now. So that's for the dollar index. We can just continue and move on. Again, I'm not really interested in anything in between this range, so I'm going to just skip everything in there. We actually can take a look into it, and you see actually that we have this demand zone in there, right? So exactly what I mentioned in terms of looking eventually for a potential long from here, but as I also mentioned, I would prefer to see the highs being taken first. So, but for that scenario, we may have this level in here. All right, there's actually this demand zone, so that's a potential level that I'm going to kind of mark in here as a potential level for price to react and go to the upside. But as I mentioned, I would like to see price breaking the highs first before moving in there, right? So something like that, and then price could go here. In the reality, I would like to see something like this, holding a little bit, go higher, and then in the future, kind of, yes, coming back to this level and go from here. All right, that's actually a bit more of the ideal scenario that I would like to see in here on the dollar index. Now, but at least the highs to be taken first. Moving along, and you have the US indices, right? So again, it's basically the same thing. We talked about this compression. Price yesterday, actually during the stream, was making this big move to downside, and price just reacted the lows one more time. Apparently, it's finding some important level of support at around this 5,685 or something like that. It's finding a really strong level of support around that level, and let's see if we're going to be able to take the highs. Like I mentioned several times, again, I see this engulf to downside in here and potentially for price to go further down. But the same way that as price continues to respect this level, it starts to be more attractive to have that high being taken first. And I mentioned several times that since S&P actually has all these highs in alignment in here, I wouldn't be surprised if you do actually take the highs first before a bigger reversal in here on the S&P. But of course, after we do that, we need to see basically price breaking. Okay, let's pretend that price is moving like this. Now makes a proper move, and basically this traction here needs eventually to be taken for price to go, right? If this level in here is respected, then just let price continue to move to the upside and gain momentum into these new all-time highs in here. But again, it's just within the range. Nothing has happened in here on the S&P. We are exactly where we were yesterday. The difference is that at the highs, the levels that were fresh initially, they are not there anymore, right? So this level in here, the supply was fresh, price now reacted from there. So it's a bit weaker, which means that price potentially can go higher to find new sell orders. There's maybe this level in here at the extreme in there as a potential zone, basically where I have this green mark. Let's see if price respects that level, but then we are so close to new all-time highs that I could see actually S&P eventually create new all-time highs before moving to downside. So again, we'll see what's going to happen tomorrow. I would like it to see moving to the upside, and maybe tomorrow morning around these highs, maybe we can find some sell pressure. Nasdaq, same thing. So basically it went halfway through this compression, basically respecting a little bit from that level. And Nasdaq, again, as I mentioned several times, I could still see price moving slightly higher in here, but opposite to the S&P, we do still have this level. And you can even go higher, right? There's even maybe more room to the upside when you're looking left without even the need to break new all-time highs. Price is reacting perfectly from the supply level, but there's maybe something else slightly higher that price can still go. All right, again, it's the same engulf downside in there, and eventually could fill that space. But for now, I wouldn't be surprised if it do go somewhere around this level, or at least to take this structure in here. All right, so to have at least some reaction from one of these levels, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Yeah, I can actually delete this. All right, so again, nothing has changed in here in terms of breaking levels up or down. So basically, we're working within the supply and those lows. A Dow actually managed to go slightly lower and now actually took these lows. So now it's officially taking those lows. Yesterday, it fake out slightly the structure, back into it again, took these lows, and it's a bit more bearish comparing with the other two. And again, you have the same space that I'm looking for price to eventually fill. So yeah, that's basically where we were. And DAX finally reacted really nicely from that level. So initially we had this low and price basically was still within that gap, so didn't really manage to go all the way and react from here. And this morning it actually reacted. Like, I didn't really like the way price was reacting from here, like all these spikes in here. It was, yeah, I don't like them. I don't like to trade this, particularly the way price moved away. But in reality, price actually respected that level that we had looked at for a while now, right? So for the last week or so, we've been looking for DAX to approach this level in here, and we had the reaction. And let's see now if price eventually is going to be moving to the upside from here, or is going to find some more sell pressure and eventually actually take this level. In my opinion, this is the low of the structure in here that can open the door for price to go further down. If price just respects this level, I still remain a bit more bullish in here, right? Because this is basically the structure that actually managed to make this previous high, and price is just retesting the origin of that move, and it could eventually go and carry on to the upside. So Personally, in order for me to actually consider any sales from this level, I would prefer to see price breaking this level in here, all right, and then moving to the upside, and then maybe from here, yeah, from here maybe we could have a turn and moving lower, right? So that would be a little bit more of the what I would like to see in order to consider even any sales at the highs in here. All right, so moving along, we go into, yeah, let's just check Nikkei. Yes, still remains within this level, nothing new in there. Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin now respecting the structure that you're looking for. If this level is broken, then we can look for price to go further down. Otherwise, price may find some support in here and it may challenge. Already had a little bit of good reaction. It reacted from that the supply level, so everything was done in there, which makes it now a little bit weaker, but that level can be enough to hold price down. So we'll see what's going to happen around this level. Ethereum, a little bit more of the same. You had the same level in here, which price basically respected quite nicely, and actually Ethereum, it looks like it's about to continue to move to the upside, right? Perhaps to go a little bit more to challenge those highs. Again, we reacted perfectly from this level, so this can be a bullish continuation here within this cycle, like within this range that we have in here. Looking at the other currency indices, and they are looking at the euro index. Nothing new. Again, we are looking to see again bigger picture potential more to the downside, but in this case, in this time frame, the most recent PI that we have is actually a break to the upside. Price just respecting a little bit of the structure in here, and I could see price moving slightly more to the upside in here, perhaps trading within this range in there. Now price is reacting from these lows, but in the bigger picture, as I mentioned, I would like to see actually price eventually moving a bit more to the downside, close towards to this level in here. But for that, price first needs to break these lows, and as long as that doesn't happen, price can actually start moving to the upside a little bit. Again, we have been literally trading within this range for many months now. Basically, the full year on the euro index has been within this range in here. So yeah, we'll see what kind of direction you're going to go. And then yen index, this one actually has been a bit more easy to read in terms of the level. So we talked about that level of supply in there, that price could have some reaction after this compression to the upside, right? It reacted once, it reacted even twice as well, now finally breaking these lows, and you could have a little bit of a continuation to the downside, and perhaps there's still even another level in there that price could respect at the highs. All right, so perhaps there's even now this new zone in there now that price broke it. Maybe it was already touched, right? So we'll see, but good reaction from that level. That was the target that we were looking for when price started to make this move, right? So basically we are looking when you're looking at this yen index, you are looking for the opposite to happen on individual yen pairs, right? You are looking actually for the euro yen, pound yen, dollar yen, and so on to actually move to the downside. But now that this yen index reached this target, perhaps that move it's over, and the other pairs are going to start moving to the upside as the yen index may start moving to downside and eventually reach this level again. Maybe you have a little bit of structure in here, and then after that, literally, it's just to go all the way below this low and react from somewhere in there. So that's a little bit of what we have in here on the yen index. If we start breaking above it, then we may start turning a little bit more bullish. In the bigger picture, as you know, we are still a bit more bearish in here. This can definitely be just a continuation of this bearish trend that we have started to create since the middle of September. And yeah, there's maybe a bit more room to downside in here on the yen index, but a little bit more clear. You can see clear the compression, good reaction from that supply, and price turning in here. Now looking at the individual currency pairs, right, which is actually where we are looking for the trades. 1 second. All right, and we're starting to look at the euro dollar. All right, so again, euro dollar, same thing. My idea doesn't really change comparing with where we were yesterday. Actually, there's a little bit more of a better and more clear PI that I like in here, which is we actually have a little bit more of a proper break to the upside. Initially, it was just a little bit off this level. It was a slightly engulf up. Now we have a little bit more of a clear one. And it's going to be interesting to see if this level in here keeps holding price and price just moves down or not, right? And the level that I've been waiting actually on the euro dollar has been a bit more around this level. So below this lower price has been reacting at this point. So that was already yesterday the opportunity that I was looking for, and it's still the same. Like nothing has changed in here. I'm still looking to see how price may react around this structure. All right, and potentially to look for that long. The difference now is that we do have a little bit more of a clear move upwards in here. Now we may have reached really close to this previous level support resistance here, basically this low, but I don't really think that we have touched it. So that could be a little bit of a possibility. Otherwise, price will just continue to the downside. And I'm still also open to that possibility where price may actually just completely go all the way and gain momentum and eventually start getting closer to this level. I'm not going to disregard that scenario, as I could see that happening as well, right? So I'm again curious to see how where are you going to be at tomorrow at London Open, and what kind of manipulation price is going to be creating in here. So that's going to be what I'm going to be looking on the euro dollar. Tomorrow, again, doesn't really change, somewhere in here, but it depends. If price mentions maybe go higher and starts creating momentum downside, we may just switch, break everything in here and just start to look even further down, which will take dollar index to the upside. So that's a little bit of what we have. Again, really difficult market to trade in here the last couple of days. So this is what we have on the euro dollar. Pound dollar hasn't really done anything different. All right, so we went a little bit more to the upside, and in here as well we start to break a few more highs. To be honest, good reaction from that level. Again, I would again, where price is reacting is not a bad level. For some reason, I would like to see going a little bit more deep into here before a turn. We don't really have a proper steel break of a high in here. We have broken that trend line. But again, I would like to see these lows, all these lows being faked out first before a move to the upside. That's still my take in here on the pound dollar. I'm not really trading anything within this level. I want to see a proper engulf down and then price creating that bullish momentum to potentially go higher. Otherwise, price may just continue, and if it breaks this level, then I need to reassess and try to see what where is going to be the next opportunity in here on the pound dollar. But I still keep the opportunity to see some kind of move to the upside from where we are right now. All right, euro pound. Yeah, euro pound is about to start trading within this range, right? After that big move to the upside and the correction straight away, now we may start creating some range in here. So yeah, not really touching it right now until price gets to one of these extremes. I don't want to be trapped within those ranges on euro pound. Aussie dollar, right? So we have Aussie dollar. That was something that we were looking for as well. Some potential reaction after such a momentum to downside. Like if you look at the daily candles, we have by now 4 bearish candles. Basically for the last 8 days we have been moving to the downside after topping at those highs. Good reaction from this level, so we had actually that level marked in here. All right, that was exactly where we were. But I don't really like this range neither, so I'll still like to see one more low being created. Maybe price could get a little bit more closer into this level in here before moving to the upside. So I would like to see that happening. I'd like to see price picking out these lows before walking to the upside. So I'm not really ready. Again, it did manage to break this high, but for me, it's not exactly still the level to look for a long. I don't like this structure. And most likely we are going to have some volatility in here overnight with the New Zealand interest rate decision. Okay, can have some impact as well in here on the Aussie dollar. So that's something to bear in mind. So yeah, most likely we're going to run away from this structure. But we'll see. If price does go back to this level, maybe we can find some selling pressure. But at this point, I'm more looking for longs, but I'll prefer to see price moving a little bit more to the downside. The best opportunity, actually, in my opinion, in terms of my own approach, was actually on the Euro Aussie, and I didn't see it. and actually just a bit upset with myself. So I wanted to see price actually going all the way, and there was this structure in here, but I forgot to set up alerts. I really like the compression. I was looking at the Euro Aussie dollar, and I kind of forgot about the Euro Aussie. Like in Euro Aussie, can you see the difference that actually created this range, but then it created that last fake out, and that's actually a little bit of what I wanted to see on the Aussie dollar, which never happened. Price just kept respecting that range. So in here we already had that move, which was exactly what I would have liked to see. And if you're actually looking to the lower time frame where price reacted from, it's a beautiful supply level. Right, as you can see, it is literally a great supply that price pushed down. It ranges underneath that level and then continues. So that level is still fresh all this time, and you have even this left shoulder. So it was a great level in here, and then price kind of created a little bit of that PA and strong push to the upside, breaks it and moves to the downside. And I could see now price getting at least a little bit close to this level. We may continue to go higher. Okay, I'm not really going to say that it's going to be the top, but at least to see some reaction or some retracement after taking a high, that's usually a good setup that you can find more of an intraday setup. To be honest, it's just a retracement. It's not a reversal at this point, because definitely price can just bounce from this level and resume the move to the upside. But that intraday, it was really good. The approach was perfect. The compression was there. Everything was really good. The level was perfect as well on the left side. There you go. It's unfortunate. I was actually a bit upset with this one, not being able to see it in there. Good move again. We'll see now what's going to happen. Again, I could see price continue to move to the upside, but now again, good reaction in here. We have also similar move on the pound Aussie. As you can see in here on pound Aussie, basically price kept respecting that structure as well. And personally, I'm still looking for price to go a little bit more to the upside in here, instead of just pausing where it reacted. It's actually a good level. Yeah, so we'll see how pound Aussie eventually is going to react from around this structure. Yeah, so we'll see. And then you have New Zealand, right? In New Zealand, we'll see what's going to happen. Like with such a compression to the downside, with so many bearish candles in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So basically we are within the almost the sixth bearish daily candle in here, really challenging these lows. I think with the news today, I'm going to be surprised if we are not going to have kind of a spike in here. All right, now I would love to see if these lows actually being taken first. Price is kind of respecting them, and that's why I still haven't really moved or looked for a long. Again, price is literally also waiting in this case for the interest rate decision. You can see our price basically is not moving whatsoever today. So everyone is waiting for that interest rate decision, and for sure we are going to have some volatility being created. There's perhaps this level where price can spike, but again, there's no point in looking into much detail on New Zealand, because whatever, when I come here tomorrow morning, price is going to be in a complete different level. So we'll see, and I'm going to adjust eventually for what's going to happen. We do have this level, and of course you may have that level in there as well, and you have maybe this level in here. So it's maybe just a few levels that where we are. But yes, I'm going to be surprised if we are not going to have eventually a little bit of a retracement, because we have been literally trading to the downside for 6 days in a row, and yeah, we are approaching now this level, or we are going to just feel completely out of this level, and from here that's going to be the zone where we're going to be looking for longs. Yeah, that's actually my favorite, but we could have a little bit of reaction first from here. All right, so that's what we have in here. Starting to look at the yen pairs, right? So looking at the Aussie yen. So we start to have a little bit of a correction today. Again, really big move to the downside. Again, Aussie yen, in regards to the yen pairs, has been actually the yen pair that moved the most to the downside. So in terms of picking one of the yen pairs to try to short yesterday, Aussie yen would have been the best option, right? Because literally made the biggest move as well. Aussie dollar, sorry, also had a really big move to the downside comparing with what happened on the pound dollar and euro dollar, where they're just in a range. So again, when you are trying to select which trade or which asset to trade, yeah, this is where it's important to see maybe where the best opportunity is. We already had a little bit of these bearish signs, good reaction. Again, price is reacting from a really good level on the left side, and we have this move, and basically price now is reacting a little bit from this zone. I could still see a little bit more of a continuation to the downside. We also managed to break now this upper trend line, but price could retrace. Price could eventually retrace somewhere in here and perhaps to continue to look for more sales at around that level. So again, it's basically exactly the same as yesterday. All right, so we could have a little bit of a reaction from here, and then price just continues to go higher. Price is reacting a little bit from this demand zone in here, and then from that level we could have more sell pressure in here. So that's something to bear in mind on the Aussie yen. Looking at the yen, dollar yen. So price got really close to this previous level of support resistance, right? So we had this structure that price kind of broke a little bit, but created still this structure, and price got really close to it, and now moving to the upside. Again, I mentioned that I still like that level in there. I don't really like that price got really close to this level, to be honest. I would have preferred to see price breaking this structure, going higher, and then filling this price. I would have preferred to see that, but since price actually still missed that level, at least on this time frame, maybe on the world time frame it's already reacted from it, or maybe on the tick charts there's something in there. We don't really see it because it was the NFP candle, so it was just a one move there, but for sure on the world time frame or on tick charts maybe there's something in there where actually this low is reacting. But yeah, I'm going to be curious to see how price may react from there. I still continue the same with the same buys. Again, price is reacting nicely from that level, so yeah, I still like the idea potentially for price to respect a little bit this zone, and then potentially take that and move to the downside from here. So that's going to still be on my radar for tomorrow. All right, so I haven't really got that opportunity on the yen pairs to look for the short. Again, euro yen as well continue to move a bit more to downside. It's another one that got really close to this level, but it never really reacted from it, which means that perhaps there's still a little bit of spice in there. And yeah, I still like that level. So let's see if price kind of respects a little bit this structure, and then perhaps spike a little bit and comes back into it again and starts moving to the downside. If I count slightly that high, you're still reacting from the other one on the left side. So it's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on, to be honest. Yep, so I'm going to be waiting for that one. Again, it continues exactly the same thing. The pound yen went all the way to respect this demand zone, and now kind of is moving a bit to the upside, kind of already broke and continue. Maybe there's a little bit more of a buy opportunity as price gets closer to this level, perhaps in here, while looking for price to get closer to that level as well. Right, so a little bit from there, we could have a continuation for price to get closer to that zone. So that's what I would like to see as well. But price in this case actually respected nicely the demand zone. And we can even look at the CAD yen as well, just to look at all the yen pairs. Again, CAD yen super bearish in here. Again, there was a strong move to the big momentum on the CAD pairs today. It was actually the pair that moved the most, dollar CAD. There you go, price still kind of respecting a little bit of this demand zone. We have all this compression. We'll see. Again, I still like that level as well, so that's still in there. So we'll see what's going to happen. All right, so we'll see price starts gaining momentum here. Price actually breaks and starts looking eventually for price to get closer to this next level in here. Yeah. Yeah, so that's going to be definitely a level I'll be looking for. Now the CAD pairs, right? So there you go, right? Again, dollar CAD, really big momentum to the upside. Again, fifth daily candle, bullish candle that we have, and price getting really close to this next level of structure. This was setup that we were trying to look for yesterday, which is we are bullish, but we are looking for that initial retracement after breaking these highs, right? And the structure, it will be somewhere around this level where price is reacting. Yeah, price reacting from somewhere in here. I didn't really manage to get in. So I'm going to continue to eventually see a bit more of a bullish momentum. Price may react from this structure. So we'll see, right? Again, continues are still a bit more bullish in here, but we may start finding some sell pressure as we are finding right now at around this level. So I'd like to see some kind of compression and eventually a turn. Price has been really quite bullish with a little bit of compression. As you can see, we have spikes on the way down while we are moving to the upside, which make them a little bit weaker eventually, because basically every single demand zone is being taken on the way up. Maybe this is one of the left demand zones that are in here, and that one is another one. But yeah, let's see how dollar CAD now is going to react from here, and if you're going to create some kind of structure at around this level to look for a potential bigger sell from here. Yeah, so we kind of need definitely that wall to be broken. Yeah, I would like to see, again, I think this high can eventually be used to create liquidity. All right, I would like to see that high a little bit being created as liquidity, even if you do break the walls first, and then we could come back into it and respect and move to the downside, like a bit more even into this as well, in there. EuroCAD also continue to move to the upside, so we have this recovery, price basically reacting from here. Again, not really interested in anything at this point on the EuroCAD from here. I think price could eventually continue to move to the upside. Too many highs being created in there. So we'll see what's going to happen on the EuroCAD. What's up, Sorav? Long time no see. How's everything? How are you doing? I'm doing good, man. How's trading? Yeah, not really touching EuroCAD right now. How's trading, my friend? Are you still trading dollar? Was it dollar CAD and pound dollar? Is a bit bad. Why? What's the what are the 2-3 reasons for that to happen? They are still trading dollar CAD and pound dollar. Were those Pongani, man? What's up? Welcome, man. Nice to see you guys in the stream. Not being disciplined. What do you mean by that? Are you not following your rules? Are you kind of feeling FOMO? Are you revenge trading? What's the reason? What does it mean not being disciplined? Get pound cut. All right. So it's a combination of several things. You're not waiting for a proper reaction. You are risking more. Yeah. At least you are identifying the reasons. The question now is, what are you doing about it? Right? What's like? Do you feel that you are like the levels that you are drawing are not, price is not reacting from them, or yeah, there can be so many things. There can be so many reasons. The part of risking more, like there's no need for that, right? Especially if you feel that you are in a period of drawdown, there's no need to start increasing your size. Just keep discipline with the same risk. But yeah, sometimes like when you are in a period like that, just go back to basics. Like just literally go back to the most simple setup that you like to trade, and just stick with it for a while. Like try to trade the most simple stuff that you can see. Don't overcomplicate, and just trade those that are literally almost screaming at you. So you can start gaining a little bit more confidence again. Yeah, again, I don't really know exactly what reaction, what price action you want to see before executing a trade. Do you just buy limits or sell limits, like it's just pinning orders, or do you wait actually for a reaction from the levels? Pound card perfectly, right? You just went from one level to the other, just feel the spice, and that's it. Like, it's a really nice way. Actually, this is a nice chart to study, to be honest. The way price moved, fake out the level, and then continue to move to the upside. Even the manipulation created in there as well. So that's actually a really nice chart to study. Even in there, the way price basically react from it, breaks these lows, must have attracted many people to try to sell it, and all of a sudden it just breaks to the upside. Again, price in here, we have all this price still to fill, and then kind of respects this level. It would be really nice if price had done this before. It didn't. I would, if I was the market maker, I would have fake out even all these guys and then move to the upside, to be honest, to react from here. But yeah, they didn't do that. So these guys managed to survive. Yeah, but interesting enough. So price just moved from one side to the other. Now I'm waiting to see what can happen next in here. So you are waiting for a reaction, yeah? Yeah. And what do you like again? You need to share with me. You need to share with me maybe on Discord to see an example. Just an example of what your A+ setup looks like. That's something that maybe you can share. Bongani, what about you, man? Are you trading gold still? Yeah, that's on cut. Nothing to look at. Euro card. Yeah, man, do that. Do that. In regards to your discipline, Saraf, is it just trading wise, or do you feel that kind of even in your personal life there's something else that has been distracting you from trading? Like, if you journal on a regular basis, like, did you feel that you just stopped journaling as well for a while? Like, if you do your pre-market analysis, kind of your right, like in terms of the trading tasks, do you continue to do everything the same? Looking at dollar franc Swiss in here, dollar franc Swiss is, again, we have been looking for this momentum. Price is actually respecting every single level in here. So we started with that and goof up. That was one of the first triggers, and price keep respecting this level. Moving to the upside, and you're looking for price to eventually break this trend line and these highs. It happened. Price respected. Finally, we have the momentum with NFP. It managed to break this level, and now price retest this level one more time, even this trend line as well. And we could see the momentum, right? It looks like that price is ready to potentially fill all this range. In here, it can happen quickly, especially after breaking this high. Maybe we can get some momentum, but I do believe that's the next level that you're going to be retesting on our franc Swiss. Price is retested a little bit this previous level, but I don't really think that's going to hold that much. Again, price is respecting these lows, and it looks like that this is an accumulation phase for dollar franc Swiss to start moving to the upside. Like, again, price has retested so many times already these lows, it doesn't really need to come back again. Maybe the only structure is around this level, and price can just move to the upside. So yeah, I'll be surprised if this dollar franc Swiss doesn't really start getting more momentum to the upside. Again, that move with NFP, it was a proper confirmation, a break to the upside, and I think many people are looking to buy the retest of this as it's working right now. To be honest, I was even looking for price to get a little bit deeper. I do like this level in here. This one in here never really reacted from it. So one of the last levels that could happen is, and price just reacted from the upper edge in this level. If price does want to manipulate and kind of shake a little bit these guys, is to create some structure around this level and potentially go. Like, that could be one of the manipulations that could happen around this level on our franc Swiss before price gaining the momentum to the upside in here. But I think personally, I think it's quite bullish. It looks all the signs that I can see, they're more bullish. Again, I don't really like all these accumulation of lows, to be honest, but I don't really see the reason for price to come back into this level again. I think they can create enough manipulation around this level in here. So that's what we have. Yeah, so we stop again. So there's no coincidence, right? So we stopped journaling and then it started to happen. That's a cause effect situation that happens more often than not, unfortunately. Like we start finding a little bit of success or getting into some momentum, and we forgot to do the things that we did to put us in that situation in the first place, and then there's no surprise. And the situation is that it's a lagging effect. Like it's not that you just stop journaling and on that same day you start being more undisciplined or kind of having more losses. It's actually after a few weeks that we start realizing what's going on, why am I losing money, or kind of not being able to perform as I was, and then you realize that actually can be something outside trading. And that's why I asked if it was something within your just trading or your personal life. And personal life, I was actually talking about your tasks of trading activities. Yeah, so you need to go back to journaling. It's that thing that is not funny to do. It's maybe the only thing regarding trading that can feel like work. If you're doing backtesting, that feels like work as well. It's far from being any kind of pleasure to do backtesting. But yeah, but it's a necessity. It's a necessity. Gold. Yeah, gold finally moved to downside and filled out this range. Right, so initially reacted from that level. Again, it's exactly the rectangle that we have in here, and I'm curious to see how price will react from this level. I actually want to see gold taking these lows, and potentially from here we can find some buy pressure. Otherwise, price will just eventually take everything in here as well and get closer to this level in here. So that's a little bit on gold. Again, I'm not going to be really trading anything in here, to be honest. But those were the levels that I could see price reacting. Again, reacted from that level in there. There was even the extreme. Price never really got there. But yeah, start breaking some lows. Good reaction. Again, nice kind of supply to create in here in alignment to all these left shoulders. And price just pushed to the downside. So yeah, somewhere from this level could be some reaction. Otherwise, price could eventually go lower, and they're looking for the next structure in there. I'm not sure if there's anything in here in between that price can still respect. Perhaps this level. Yeah, that level can still perhaps work as well. Yeah, perhaps. Is it good to journal before trade happens? To be honest with you, I don't really like. If you have a checklist that you would like to follow before you execute a trade, maybe you can do that, right? Maybe some traders, they like to do that just to make sure that they are not maybe rushing into the trade or taking something that it's not there, and maybe that can help with some mistakes. But I don't really trade. Like I don't really trade before I take the trade. I journal at the end of the day. Like I do my daily report card on a daily basis, and then my weekly review over the weekend, and eventually monthly review at the end of the month. Like that's more of what I do. Again, I have my own journal. I created it, which is something that I need to eventually share as well with the community, with all of you, and revisit. Which is it's a journal really focused on the process. It's not a journal that you see anywhere else, to be honest. It's not just tracking the metrics. It's actually something that it's going to help you with your process. I divide the trade in 8 different aspects. Like I follow, or when I'm taking a trade or when I'm analyzing the trade, I follow, all right, pay attention to 8 different aspects, which is higher time frame analysis, how is the approach, size as well, size of the trade, which apparently you mentioned that you were having issues with that, with increasing size. Execution, target, stop loss, trade management, and mindset. Like, so I grade each one of these 8 different aspects of each trade. I give it a 1 or a -1 or a 0 if it's kind of neutral, but 1 is positive, -1 is negative. You can write a note next to it to describe what on it, what each one of those parameters, what did you do well or bad. For example, if the execution is -1, maybe you had FOMO, you can just put FOMO in front of it. So you start realizing that maybe anytime you make a mistake in terms of execution, if you start noticing that the reason for it is FOMO or executing too early, now you know what you need to work on. Right? And that gives you the performance efficiency, right? That's going to tell you when you execute a trade, then of course you sum all of it, you get into a percentage, and it tells you what's the percentage of your efficiency in terms of execution. Like, even if you win a trade, maybe there's one aspect of the trade that you did incorrectly, or even if it is a loss, there's maybe some aspects of those 8 parameters that you did correctly. Right? So that's something to track. And this going to give you an idea of what aspect of your trading you need to work on. Like, you have literally 8 different aspects of your trading that you can work on. After 30 trades, 50 trades, you are going to realize that maybe there's one specific aspect that is damaging your performance, and you know exactly what you need to do in there. Like, that's just one part of the journaling. Then I track also your daily habits. For example, if you stop journaling, you are going to realize that you stop journaling. Like, and now you can see the correlation between being disciplined with your own tasks and your own performance. That will be another stat that you can see. Like, it's another pattern that you can identify. And other aspects, like, again, you also track your missed trades, like, which is now creates the separation. Or another metric that I try to track is what is your best case scenario in terms of performance, and where is your actually real performance. And by best case scenario, I'm including any trade that you have taken that excluding the mistakes, and any missed trade opportunity that you could have taken based on your strategy, but you didn't. Like, all of a sudden you sum up all of that. Let's pretend that you could have made 10k this week, but you only made 2k. So there's a gap of 8,000 in there, and you can try to understand what's the difference in there. Right? And I try to track that. Right? And now how can you actually close that gap in there, which considers the mistakes. Even when you miss a trade, I also track 4 aspects of the trade, 4 aspects of the trade when you miss a trade as well, that you want to find out why did I miss it. Yeah, and some other aspects in there. So yeah, that's basically my trading journal. All the other metrics, yeah, you can all the outcome metrics, it's also included, but you can get access to that in any regular journal. Yeah. Thank you. And I see gold reacts from unknown levels. I think gold has some wired pay sometimes. Like Forex has better precision. What do you think? Yeah, gold is a unique asset. Like, it's a lot of volatility. This last basically all this year has been trading at all-time highs, breaking all-time highs, and retesting and breaking all-time highs. There's a lot of momentum. Many people like to trade gold. It hasn't really been an asset that I traded that much. I don't really like to trade at all-time highs, to be honest. And yeah, sometimes it just moves too quickly, or it's too aggressive for my liking, for the type of trades that I like to do. So I don't really touch it. In terms of the levels where it reacts, if you start being really precise and try to follow or look at the levels, it may react from levels that make sense, but I'm not really spending the time to do that, because I'm just following. Gold is literally one asset that I just follow with the hopes that I see a clear A+ setup that stands out to me and I want to be involved in. So I literally, it takes me 0.5% of my time looking at gold. I actually have been paying a little bit more attention to silver, which is not at all-time highs and actually reacted from a really good level on the left side, for example. Now, after taking these highs, trajectory vis-a-vis that level is really good. But it was with such a spike, I think it was even overnight or whatever. When was it? It was actually yeah, on Friday, maybe an FP. I don't even know what was this. It was quite aggressive, and I didn't really trade that, unfortunately. And now it's just moving to the downside. But silver has been a bit more on my radar, and it's moving quite nicely, to be honest. It's moving quite nicely. So I've been a bit more active on silver, and it's not at all-time high, so it helps. So gold, where did it reacted from yesterday? I didn't even look at. So I mean yesterday was this one, most likely. No, this is for... You mentioned the US Open. Is it this spike to downside? Is it this low? No, this is on the 4th, sorry, this is NFP. I need to go back to yesterday. This is yesterday. This is 130. And then it goes to... Yeah, this is US Open. Yeah, the US Open is reacting basically from this. They have these left shoulders in the air. Actually, kind of a nice reaction. Even that left shoulder as well. Oh, I don't have data, man. Yeah, even on 5 minutes time frame, like it's a good reaction from here. And this one, yeah, most likely reacted from something else. Yeah. But it's a respect, like gold has been respecting that typical pattern. Like it kind of goes up, kind of respects a little bit, and then goes down and then creates that fake out, and then all of a sudden you have a KM. Like, and it keeps going like that. Maybe reacting from a supply level, creates range in the middle, then fake out, and then now reacting from the left shoulder. Like, and then there's the same thing, like goes down a little bit, whatever, some level in here, now another fake out and goes. I can now actually reacting from this supply. Now the left shoulder has been reacted, and then again goes, reacts now from this left shoulder. It's been moving like that. Like that's kind of what you see in here on gold. Kind of react from here, then goes there. Kind of whatever. It's actually still missing this well, to be honest. But as you can see, kind of reacted a little bit, kind of then goes there. Like that's basically the moves. So again, same thing. So that's not exact. That's again a lot of manipulation between, but it's not exactly just a strange move. Yeah, from the opening. Yeah, correct. From here, there's not exactly anything in there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really interested in gold, to be honest. Oil is a different story. Now oil, yeah, these guys again overnight. I've been, yeah, there are a lot of moves that have happened overnight, which makes me a little bit upset of the opportunities that I've been looking for. So I've been looking yesterday, as I mentioned, I was looking for shorts on oil. Again, to open, like it was the daily open, and after that just moving down, and it moved straight away from the extreme. So again, unfortunately, no trade. As price was getting closer to that level, again, a lot of momentum. I was literally expecting price to find some sell pressure at around this structure, and it happened. And basically, the move is done. And now we'll see. Right, we are back into the middle. Right, we are back into the middle of this level. So we'll see what's going to happen. Brent, same thing. Like overnight as well. Taking out that level again. I was even looking for potential price to get a little bit closer to this structure. It just fake out that high, and there you go. It filled out this price. Right, so it can go down, goes up, and now it fills this price. So that's basically what we have in here. That's it. It's done. The move is done, and now we are going to be waiting and see what's going to happen. Again, this high can even be faked out eventually. Okay, price can actually still react from that level, faking out this high, creating some liquidity around this level, and have some reaction. But with the target in that moment, we'll see. Right, it depends on where this low eventually is going to react from. Like for example, if this will just reacts from this level, maybe there's no more space to go further down, and potentially something like this. If price just reacts from this level, all right, goes higher, be a bit of a reaction from here. Yeah, maybe the target switch just from here to here, and price will just go higher. And that's it. Like this bigger target may be gone. Price then just goes higher, maybe perhaps towards this level. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Again, unfortunately, oil is gone. We'll see. If price goes up again, I'll be looking for sales. So going to just wait for price to go up and retest the highs one more time. Look for more sell pressure. Same thing in here. We can definitely use this high as liquidity, and price can react from that level, which is perfect. And then again, we may have that zone there as well. So yeah, hopefully it goes to the upside. I don't really think there was any kind of news in terms of the situation in the Middle East for oil to react as it did, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, so potentially it could go like that. Right. Any final questions, Surav? It's basically done. Perfect. All right. Yeah, send me on Discord. Send me one of your what's April setup for you, and go back to journaling, man. You need to go back to journaling. It's incredible how many people struggle to find consistency just because of those tasks that need to be done. Discipline in here. So what we are going to do is just to do a recap of what I'm going to be looking for. All right. So just to recap from the live stream and what I'm looking for tomorrow, nothing really has changed comparing with yesterday. Price stayed at the same levels when you're looking at the dollar index and the US indices. There was just a small break to downside on the dollar index, which is interesting, but we may continue now to go to the upside. Again, I still look at the target more towards to the highs or to the upside in here on dollar index. And I'm looking to see what kind of manipulation you're going to have tomorrow at London Open. Like if you break the highs, you start having manipulation to go to downside, that's perfect. And potentially we can even get another long opportunity from today's lows. On the euro dollar, it remains exactly the same. The level that I'm looking to look for longs is the same as yesterday. So I want to see the lows being taken and potentially see buy pressure. So I'm going to be paying attention to that. Similar on the pound dollar as well. Looking at Aussie New Zealand, we'll see. There's going to have interest rate decision in New Zealand overnight, so expecting a 50 basis point rate cut. So I'm not really going to touch that. We'll see where we're going to be at. We have been literally printing the bearish heavy candles for 5-6 days in a row, so you may find another leg down before some buy pressure. Or we're going to go up first before resuming the move to downside. I'm expecting a little bit of buy pressure regardless of what's going to happen. The yen pairs, we are finally... I'm waiting still, right? I'm waiting to see euro yen, dollar yen, pound yen, and so on, potentially getting closer to those highs to look for some opportunities. However, when you're looking at the yen index, we notice that the yen index already reacted or closed the gap in here. Like it's reacted perfectly from that supply, which can start getting more sell pressure on the yen index, which means that the euro yen, pound yen, dollar yen, and so on may actually start moving even higher. Like there's maybe some buy pressure in there, but I'm going to be looking at the highs for a potential sell on the yen pairs. US indices, looking at the S&P, Nasdaq, and so on. Like again, we had a lot of strength today, but price hasn't really managed to break any level of structure with respect to the walls one more time. So at the highs, I'm going to be looking at potentially S&P to fake out the highs and create a new all-time high before finding new sell pressure. I've been mentioning that that's possible on the S&P, even though I do see an engulf to downside for a potential bearish move in the future. Maybe not for now, in the future. So we could see price taking out these highs, collecting out the liquidity around this level before moving to the downside. Nasdaq, as I mentioned, they're still the highs, they are still fresh. So we can actually fake out all this mid-range structure and potentially react from those highs. Otherwise, we can even go slightly higher because we still have a little bit of better levels at the highs, closer to the all-time high created back in July. And that can be a little bit of a play as well on Nasdaq. But first, we can have some sell pressure or some reaction from around this structure in here. DAX, as we mentioned, it reacted perfectly from that demand zone. So I'm curious to see how price may react around this level. If you're going to have a little bit more of momentum, or if you do manage to break below that structure, I'm turning a bit more bearish. And that could be a great sell opportunity from those highs in there. Looking at oil. Basically reacted, we were looking for shorts yesterday. It was already a big reaction. If price goes back to the highs, I'm going to be looking for more sells. But now I need to wait for price to go back to those highs. Now it's a little bit in the middle of the range again. So I need to wait. Dollar CAD moved quite aggressively to the upside. That was something that we were also looking to start to eventually see a little bit of sell pressure, but I continue to be a bit more bullish on dollar CAD. So I'm going to be cautious with that one as well. It's just some potential retracements. And I'm a counter trend trader, so I'm actually looking for shorts, even though price is moving to the upside. But I'm going to be cautious with that one as well until I find a proper reason to look for reversals. Again, dollar CAD has been moving to the upside for 5 or 6 days in a row, so it's been a little bit moving quite extremely to the upside, or with a lot of momentum in there. And that's it. Gold moved to the downside, but not really looking to trade gold neither. So yeah, just to recap again: euro dollar, pound dollar, the pairs related to the dollar. I'm going to be looking for a potential opportunity tomorrow during the London session. Aussie dollar, same thing. Yeah, and the indices. I'm going to be looking at the indices and the yen pairs. So those are going to be what I'm going to be looking. Those are going to be the assets that are going to be paying attention to for tomorrow. Thank you very much, Sorav. Thank you for joining. Also, Bongani. I'm looking forward to see you guys tomorrow again. I stream every day at 7 p.m. So feel free to join to do my pre-market analysis to look for opportunities. Find the best A+ setups for tomorrow's session. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Thank you very much. See you guys. See you tomorrow. I'll speak to you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Bye bye.